The Tigers won last night, so now they're back to 2-2. I love baseball. Regular listeners know I love baseball. And there's something that you got to have when you follow, especially Major League Baseball. It's a marathon. It is not a sprint. I see people getting upset about Spencer Torkelson and, is he going to strike out or he's not swinging? I wish he would swing more. And he struck out again last night as a pinch hitter. Okay, but guess what? His career is young. You've got to have patience if you're a baseball fan or a player. And you've got to have fortitude. You've got to be in it for the long haul. Again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Let's talk more about it today with our good friend, the good doctor, Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services of East Lansing at drjohnb.com, the website for all the podcasts. He's patient. He's filled with fortitude, and he's with us. Good morning. Welcome back.
Well, good morning. Good morning to you, Dave. And I do think the quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, the patience and fortitude conquer all, it does teach us in a few words why we need both patience and fortitude to achieve our dreams in life, as well as the everyday task we have to accomplish to be successful. Aptitude is a great gift, but needs patience and fortitude to meet potential. Examples to prove the point would be top athletes and students. Each would tell you or tell us both patience and fortitude are needed to persist in the never-ending quest for their excellence. But even if we do not have the aptitude of a Magic Johnson in basketball or Albert Einstein in physics, we know that, we can use the same level of patience and fortitude they use to become the best they can become in whatever field they desire. So you may not have the aptitude to be a Magic Johnson or an Einstein in those fields, but we do have the patience and fortitude. If we develop them, we can obviously take the aptitude we have for whatever skills we have, and we can develop them into being the most that we can be. And it's really critical that we do that if we're going to be successful. Very important.
I have a great example actually I have two. I'll go back to baseball, and I'll pick Satchel Paige. How many years did he have to? It was, there was a color bar in baseball, but he had patience. He kept his career going. I don't think he debuted in the major leagues till he was well into his 40s, and he pitched. The last time he pitched, he was pushing 60 years old in the major leagues, as far as we could tell. But, his patience and fortitude were off the chart. So was Thomas Edison.
Yes,
brilliant guy.
Oh.
But how many light bulbs did he toss? And, why don't you go on to something else? No. We're sticking with this here. I believe in the long game, and he finally got it right. There are lessons to be learned there, no?
Well, I think in life, Dave, success is having this combination of fortitude and patience. Obviously you need some aptitude. That's something maybe we don't fully control, but we do control what we can develop, the skill sets that we can develop along the way with the abilities we have. And so, it's really very, very important. And I think Page and Edison are great examples, and we're going to find most people, if not all people, that are really successful, they have had patience and fortitude. They've been able to work, they've been able to develop those to the point that they're successful. Because if you give up and you just start 1,000 tasks and you never complete them or never really develop the skill sets you need to be successful at something, you're going to lead, in all probability, really a dissatisfied life, that you're going to not achieve anywhere near the ability that you have. You're going to be very frustrated and frustrate those around you. So you really, if you want to be happy, you want to be satisfied, you have to, first of all, determine where your aptitudes are, and then you take the patience and fortitude, those characteristics, and with them you can conquer all. You can be very successful. So I think that Ralph Waldo Emerson really had a lot to say, and if we really think about it, those are key things, and so often people don't. And we live in a world of impatience. We live in a world of a lack of fortitude, where people say, well, just do what you like and don't push too much. You don't want too much pressure. We don't want awards.
But we want instant gratification too. And that's
instant gratification, yeah.
More modern. Right. It's a great thing for parents to teach children and have talks about be patient, let it play out. I know you're anxious. I know you want it to happen yesterday, but it's not going to play out that way. Whatever it may be, I think these are great lessons for parents to teach kids too.
Well, I think that's really true. I mean, you're not going to become, say, a math teacher overnight. First, you have to learn math.
Right.
And then you have to learn how to teach, and you have to go through training, just as an example. But anything that you're really going to succeed at and be good at, one doesn't become like you, Dave, as an example, major person on the radio and on TV. You've probably worked for the state, and you've done all kinds of different things, and you develop those skill sets over time. You didn't just all of a sudden come out of Seattle and say, I think I'm going to be a top person in anything that I want. Well, you may have said that, but it didn't
work out. You're right. I thought that, but I realized it takes a while. Yeah, you're right. It does. And that's okay, because, again, what you realize is the journey is a huge part of the satisfaction of it. And there is an immense satisfaction to seeing something, whether it's a particular task, whether it's a project, whether it's a life goal, and seeing it through in its own good time and giving it its own good time to fruition. There's an immense, I think, satisfaction. It's like seeing your children grow up in the passage of time. If you think you're doing it right, it's an immense satisfaction, and having the patience to do that, not click your fingers and have everything happen. It doesn't work that way. It's never really going to work that way. And people were impatient. We are an impatient society.
Well, that is very true, Dave, and I think that impatience is really something, a killer for achievement and for success. And let me give you one other thought. I'll bring you back in again, the fifth quarter that you developed for. It's been very important on TV. Isn't that really true in terms of the sports? The fifth quarter is something you developed. It's kept going, but that's not something you just do in a day. There are things that you develop, and then you can enjoy watching them succeed with new characters, new personalities over the years. So patience and fortitude, these are such critical characteristics for people to have. And so often I see people that have the aptitude, have great ability, but they just can't seem to get those together. I'll be talking to them in my office, and they'll just say, I just can't focus on that, Doc. It just doesn't seem to be there. And we talk about strategies and ideas to work, because really the greatest idea is of no value unless you have the patience and fortitude to work through it. It's kind of like Edison and the light bulb. What, the 500 or 1,000 times he didn't know.
I think it was 1,000, something like that. And people told him, "Move on, Thomas." Yeah, the pride of Port Huron, St. Clair County. Move on, Thomas. No, you mentioned the fifth quarter. I'll tell you something about that. I would get calls on the two-way or the cell phone from photographers, and we'd have 6 or 7 out, and each one would go to 2, 3, sometimes 4 games, and I get a call saying, I really want to get out of here. There's nothing happening. And I'm like, what kind of highlights do you have? Nothing really. What's the score? Well, I got here after 1 score and nothing's happened. I said, stay 5 more minutes. I have this feeling. I talked to a coach. You're going to make something happen. Just be patient. And soon they called me coming back going, I got this guy with an 89-yard touchdown right in front of me. I said, beautiful. Now you're moving. So just, breathe, take a breath, and good things might happen. It might be a minute from now or 10, but don't be so quick to click the switch. It just, you said it best. It conquers all, and it can conquer all, but you have to allow it the time and the movement to do so. You have to have that grace, right, to allow things to play out.
Absolutely true.
I think that's a good word that goes with patience too, grace. We probably don't use it enough. We probably don't say it enough in our society. The good doctor here today, patience and fortitude, important. The importance in your life, the importance as a parent, grandparent, guardian, passing that on to the next generation. It'll be tougher now than ever before because there's a lot of attention that's leading to our lack of focus and attention, things demanding us and our time to be brought up into smaller quantities and segments, but not always a good thing. It's great to have you on today, sir. I appreciate it. Take care. Stay safe. We'll talk again very soon.
Same to you. Always a pleasure, Dave. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services in East Lansing. And don't forget the podcast always at drjohnb.com. We'll be back here in a moment on the morning wake up on your Tuesday, up a degree, 34 at Capital Region International Airport, 1320 WILS.